Walking on the street wearing a ring like this from a distance, you always think it was just any ordinary ring. But as you get close, you realize it was something different, something bigger. To you, this is an AHL Calder Cup Championship ring from 2012. Let the fun begin. How I got started working with the Admirals in 2012. October 22nd, 2011, a friend asked if I wanted to help out with the team for the Norfolk Admirals working in the locker room. It was a volunteer gig, and I was only a 17-year-old in high school. First game I volunteered, I was hooked. Being in the environment and around the players in the locker room, watching the game up close right along the boards and the glass. Only downside was not leaving until 2 a.m. in the morning. To me, this was an experience of a lifetime. The relationship with the players was like none other. Players treated me with respect, and they never once tried to belittle me because they knew I was just helping. Developing friendships with players, always having conversations while in the locker room and joking around with them. Guys treated me as if I was part of the team, or to some of them, if I was like their family member, because that's what the team was to them, family. Moments I'll never forget. I watched hockey my entire life. On TV, in person. I've always seen the fights. If anybody's ever watched hockey, you would see the fights too. But nothing compares to seeing a fight up close and personal happen right in front of you. Or even everybody on the ice fighting at one time. Then there are the injuries you never expect to see up close and personal. Some throughout your lifetime may see injuries, but hockey injuries could be a whole different thing. Anywhere from dislocated joints to get hit in the face with the puck to even getting their throat cut open by a skate. The feeling of being in that environment was like none other. It's something I've never felt before, and I have never felt since. Grew up, I was a Detroit Red Wing fan, watching a famous player, if you've ever seen hockey, Mr. Steve Yzerman. Steve Yzerman is the manager of the Tampa Bay Lightning. I've always wanted to meet him. Well, one day I got my chance when I turned around and he was standing there in the locker room. Got to shake his hand and meet him. This was a historical season. It all began February 5th, 2012. I was sitting at home watching the Super Bowl. Admirals were on the road, and I checked my phone and saw they lost. Going into the next weekend, I did not know what to expect. The guys were frustrated and determined to go back on winning streak. You could see that weekend, you could see a different type of energy in the room. The weekend came out a win. Little did I know what I was about to experience firsthand. I didn't realize what was happening until we hit 10 straight wins. I realized it was not any ordinary streak. There was something different. The team was completely different. The team was completely different from the beginning of the season. It's like they were whole new players. It was not until about the 19th game I realized I was part of something special, something I thought I would never see or be a part of in my life. No one could believe what they were witnessing, not even the players themselves. As history takes place, the records they broke. A single season of 28 straight wins, broke a previous AHL record by 11 games that was set in 2004-2005 season. Broke the pro hockey record with 10 wins that was set in 1991 by a professional hockey team in the International Hockey League. Ending the historical season coming into the playoffs, we were still on the winning streak. I had not missed a game all year, except for one due to a baseball injury. We won the first game of the playoff, and the next game I had missed due to my girlfriend's junior prom. Guys were not very happy with me because if you know anything about playoffs or streaks like that, they don't want to change routine. They expect everybody to be there, and they don't even decide not to shave their face. I was getting angry text messages for not being there and the fact that I shaved my face. We won the rest of the playoff series. The first game, 3-1. The second game, 4-2. We swept the last game to make the championship series. They come home, win two at home, and then they go up to Toronto to win 2 games there to win the Calder Cup championship. I was supposed to go, but I was not allowed to go due to I had graduation practice. So Celebration was like none other I've ever experienced, even being a part of the championship teams myself. Seeing the guys come off the plane, holding the Calder Cup up in the air, smiles on their faces, coming back to the locker room to celebrate with them, even getting to hold the Calder Cup and lift it over my head. It was like an experience none other. Being a part of the parade downtown that they threw for the team, even going up on stage with the team when they unveiled the banner, because they didn't get to unveil the banner the starting of the 2012-2013 season because the team had switched affiliates. They were no longer with the Tampa Bay Lightning and became with the Anaheim Ducks. Just getting to be a part of that was like none other. Before the day ended, I got word I was going to receive a ring. They viewed me not only as game day help, but a part of the team and a part of the family, a part of the success they had. To this day, I still work in the locker room for the Norfolk Admirals. No season was like that. I have never felt the atmosphere in the room like that since. Each time I look at this ring from here on out, I'll never forget being a young 17-year-old that not only got to witness history, but be a part of it.
I was an active duty service member. I was thoroughly trained in a skill that changed my life completely. This is a skill that I utilize every day, and it allows me to see the world different. When I see any subject, I notice how the light falls on it, no matter what the subject is, whether it's a person or an object. I notice all the details of the subject, and I determine how it makes me feel. Sometimes it gives me a feeling of melancholy, sometimes it makes me feel happy or angry. It could be any range of emotions. Once I determine my mood, I point, I aim, and then I shoot. So, my object is my camera. And behind me there's going to be a bunch of photos, and I want to tell you first why I love this so much, because when you look at a picture, it just makes you feel something. Like you see a ship and it makes you proud to be an American. You see a laughing child, it makes you happy. So as I speak, maybe you'll notice how just different pictures, none of them are Pulitzer Prize winner pictures, but how they make you feel. And then you kind of understand why I love my camera so much. So in the Navy, I worked as a photographer / journalist / videographer, and I went to school for nearly 2 years at the Defense Information School in Fort Meade, Maryland, where it was one of the best visual information schools. That's my dog.
You've taken all these pictures, right, Christine?
Yeah, these are all my photos. So in this school, I went alongside with different branches of the military, learning public affairs, and I learned everything from printing to graphic design, photography, journalism, videography, and I just learned so much, and I took a strong liking to photography. The reason I love photography so much is because I obviously have really bad social anxiety, which makes it really hard for me to do just things that are easy for people. It's hard for me to maintain relationships and go places, go to school, go to work. And whenever I'm behind the camera, and I don't know if it's because it's blocking my face or it's just a comfort thing, but I feel comfortable and I can be a part of stuff, and I can kind of be a fly on the wall, which is kind of what I like to be. So for my social anxiety, it's awesome. And social anxiety is a really common thing. I mean, I looked up 15 million adults in America suffer from social anxiety. And so that's a big thing for me. So I've never really liked being the center of attention. And this is another way where I get to be behind the camera and make other people feel good and make them feel beautiful and get to show them, how awesome they are. It also allows me to be creative. I've never thought of myself as artistic. I can sing, I can dance, I can draw, but I'm really bad at all of those things. And with this, I am creative. I can take a picture and I can have somebody else see what I see when I look at a picture just by adjusting lighting and perspective. And it's really cool. It's just a really cool way to be creative, having a creative outlet. I also get to share with other people what I see. And another dog. Whenever I see things, I can take a picture of a pencil on the table and you know, depending how the light feels on it and how I feel about it, I could say, you know, that's a happy yellow pencil on a table. Or if I have kind of a drab feeling, I could say, oh, pencil's all by itself, I hate that. So I can take a picture and manipulate it, not through editing, but just through the lens and through my own little perspective and have you see what I see. I get to pretty much show everybody how I see the world. And it was Ansel Adams that once said, you don't make a photograph with just a camera. You bring the act of photography from all the pictures you've ever seen, the books you've read, the music you've heard, and the people you've loved. So I know everybody has cameras on their phone and, you know, it's not really that big of a deal, but this is my camera. This is my favorite camera. I have tons of cameras. I collect antique cameras, but this is my favorite one. And this camera's been all around the world. It's been up in planes. It's done aerial photography. It's done all kinds of cool stuff. And this is my most precious